I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious, straightforward pasta bake with sweet leeks, tomatoes, basil, parmesan, and the most amazing garlicky crumb. We're going to do a big batch of it. You could either feed loads of people, or you could portion it off, put it in the fridge or the freezer for meals for another day, but also a hack of turning this, the everyday pre-bought garlic bread, into a thing of joy, the most amazing garlic bread crumb. So let's start off with that. First up, get yourself a liquidizer. We're going to use this for the crumb and for the sauce. So I'm going to cut this into half. Just rip up half your garlic bread into here, give it a little waz. So that simple little trick takes your beautiful garlic bread into a fine breadcrumb. So let's do the second one. Really, really nice. So we've got the lovely crumb here. I'll put that to one side. Let's get on with the pasta sauce. So we're going to start it off with some olive oil in a pan. A couple of tablespoons goes in. And then the beginning of the story is going to be some garlic. 2 cloves of garlic. We'll just slice this up like that. So medium heat. Let's get that frying. I'll take a little bit of this basil now. I'll give you another little tip actually. If you pick any herbs, especially if they look a little bit sad, put it in the water, they'll refresh and come back to life. And then these stalks here, you don't have to throw these away. Just finely slice them. They're still full of flavour. And we'll get them in with the garlic. Now let's talk about oregano. I've got the regular stuff here that you'll see. Just a little teaspoon I can put in my hand and then put into the oil like that. Then here, I've got some posh oregano. It's not really posh. It looks posh. It's just unprocessed. I always think it's quite nice to get this, if you can, a little bit more fragrant. So you can see it's just gently frying. It smells really fragrant. I've taken it off the heat because I don't want to burn the garlic. Really important to not burn garlic. So look, we've got the leek. So what I tend to do to clean it is just take the end off there, run my knife just down the leek like this, pull off that outside leaf, and then I'm going to kind of treat it like it's almost 2 different vegetables. So I'll simply cut this in half. I'll save this green part for a soup or a stew that I'm going to do this week. Really, really nice. Nothing will go to waste. And this lovely white part here, I'm going to put into this pasta dish. Now, when leeks grow, they always come out the ground, obviously, and they pick up a little bit of mud, dirt, grit, stuff like that. So let me show you. This is the stalk end. And what I'm going to do is cut it in half lengthwise, like that. And then what you want to do is wash it under the tap away from the stalk. Just a quick little wash. Also, what's nice about giving it a quick little wash is that excess little bit of water creates a little steam that then creates a little more sort of sweetness and softness. So in we go with the leek. I'll give it a little season with salt and pepper, just to start the seasoning story. And that's going to be on a medium heat now. If you just kind of like slow cook that for 10 minutes, it really kind of concentrates the sweetness. It's utterly delicious. So while that does its thing, I'm going to put some pasta into my pan of water. So 500 grams of, frankly, any pasta you like. So when I'm cooking pasta for a pasta bake, I always undercook it. So the pack says 12 minutes, so I'm going to give this 8 minutes. Then I'll show you what to do next. So these leeks have had 10 minutes. The pasta's cooked, drained and refreshed. Now to carry this sauce is a really beautiful old friend, tomatoes. We're going to go in with 3 tins of beautiful tinned tomatoes, and then I'll clean these tins out with some water just to clean out the tin. Use every last bit. Bring this to the boil, let it simmer for 15 minutes, and then you could serve the sauce chunky and rustic, but I'm going to liquidize it until it's silky smooth. So look, that's had sort of 10-15 minutes. Look at that, just blipping away. Have a little taste. Oh, gorgeous. This is your opportunity to adjust a little seasoning if you need it. If you want to make it a little hotter with black pepper, of course. If you wanted to hit it with chili, you can. I'm going to whiz it up now. I'm going to put most of it in there. So whiz it up. Whenever you're using hot things and liquidizers, put the lid on for sure and put a tea towel on top. I have decorated myself and the room so many times. Having a little look at it. If you want to put some herbs in here now, you can. If you want to put a little cheese in here now, you know, just a little bit, you can. Nice. I think having a liquidizer or a hand blender is a genuinely useful gadget. So in we go with the sauce. You can see the colour change now from the deep red to the almost orange. Sunshine, look at that. Just beautiful. Basically, we're done. We'll go in with the lovely pasta. Look at that. Have a little taste. Oh, delicious. I'm going to do a little layer of Parmesan, about 50 grams, just to kind of create a little kind of gooiness when you put your spoon into it. It's going to be delicious. Beautiful. And I'm actually going to hijack this a little bit with a nice little hack. It's a great vegetable that I love. It sits in the freezer. It's super convenient. Frozen spinach. Why would I use frozen spinach? It's super convenient. It comes in these little portion, sort of normally 80-gram pellets. Just going to take 8 of these pellets and put it in and around this pan like that. And I think that spinach works really well with these flavors. So look, beautiful colors. Very excited about that. I'm now just going to finish it with that beautiful garlic bread crumb. I'm going to take half of it and sprinkle a nice fat layer on top, right to the edges. And that will just cook up really, really nicely. What you can do with the rest of this is get like some of these little freezer bags. And I promise you, this will be the handiest thing to have in the freezer. So the next time you roast a piece of fish, right, sprinkle that on top in the oven, crunchy, beautiful. You know, the next time you want to take an everyday salad and make it like exciting, just put that in a pan, get it golden, little golden sort of tiny croutons, crunch, deliciousness. So this is a brilliant thing to have. Next time you make a lasagna, sprinkle that on top. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And no waste. So this now goes in the oven for about 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. When it's golden, when it's blipping away, when it looks like you want to eat it, it's ready. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So I know it's ready because I can smell it. The room smells so good. Those amazing garlicky breadcrumbs. So here it is. The beautiful pasta bake. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Let it sit for a little bit. What I would normally do is just put some of these lovely basil leaves over the top. They're in really good condition now they've been in the water. Look at that. It smells incredible. Now for me, I always love having it with a lovely simple salad. So I've got a nice little salad here. I'll just finish that with a little olive oil, little squeeze of lemon juice, and that is an incredible lunch. That's an incredible dinner. Look at that. I just love it. Yes. So look, let's serve up. Let's get a nice piece of that spinach. Beautiful. Really lovely. Look at that. Little parmesan over the top. Right, let's have a little try. It's amazing colour. It's so good. That, my friends, is a brilliant principle recipe. Take that, run with it. Put it into your family. Honestly, they're gonna love it. So look, if you want more recipes from me, you know, more batch cooking recipes, more recipes that sort of hero veggies, simply go to jamieoliver.com and have a little search around. It's all free and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious Greek Cypriot inspired pasta. It's so good. It's really quick. It's a one-pan wonder and it's a recipe from my new cookbook, 5 Ingredients Mediterranean. This is simple, 5 ingredients obviously, but all of that energy from the Mediterranean, the colors, the flavors, one of the best cuisines in the world. And of course, there's so many countries. Now, one of them is Cyprus. I used to go there as a kid. One of my good friends, Georgie Hayden, gave me the inspiration for this dish because she comes from Cyprus. So one of the things in this book that I really love is the non-Italian pasta dishes, which I know sounds really weird, but without getting into too many arguments, the Mediterranean has had pasta for thousands of years. This is Orzo, so it looks a little bit like rice, but it's not rice, right? It's very small pasta. You can get it really easily now in supermarkets. Not all of them, but it's definitely out there. So we're gonna use this pasta. I'm also gonna give you a hack to sort of fake this pasta if you can't find it, right, with spaghetti. I'll show you that in a minute. So we've got pasta, garlic, we've got parsley here, which you could swap out for any herb you like, marjoram, thyme, basil. We've got the halloumi here, which all my kids love at home. Really, really nice, sort of squeaky and fresh and salty. Then we've got some tomatoes here that have been on the windowsill, nice and ripe. Let's get cooking. So like I said, it's a £1 wonder. So get yourself a nice wide casserole style pan. We'll whack that onto a medium heat to start off with. And first job actually is a little preparation on fresh pasta. Now, first up, you can use tinned tomatoes straight away. 2 tins of tomato would be beautiful, but I think what you get when they're on the vine like this, they don't just taste good, they smell good as well. So what I'm gonna do is get some nice ripe tomatoes. I've got 600 grams of tomatoes here, just cut them in half like this. This is a little hack for making a very simple, delicious sauce instead of using tinned tomatoes, which is also delicious. It's using a standard box grater like this. And what I do is go on the fine side, not that side, this one here, right, that you grate cheese on. Take the half of the tomato and just gently rub it, and don't cut yourself, right, just gently. Now, if you see, down the bottom, you're gonna see pulp and juice coming out, and on the top, you're gonna see a separation of the seeds and the skin. The freshness is another level, right? So look at that, right? No seeds, seeds. So that's the technique. So I'm going to do that to all of this. Let's have a little clean down. So the tomato sauce is done. This pan is getting nice and warm. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil into a pan, and I've got 2 cloves of garlic. So this is a really simple pasta sauce. But the technique starts to get really interesting because we're not going to boil the pasta. We're going to cook the pasta in the sauce. Get your garlic in there. You don't want to cook the garlic too quickly. At this point, I've got half a bunch of fresh parsley. It could be basil, it could be oregano, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to finely slice the stalks, which are really sweet and delicious. Don't waste those. And as that garlic just starts to colour, I'm going to put in the stalks of the parsley. If you wanted to make this spicy, you could, but that will be a 6th ingredient. So 5 ingredients, I'm keeping it simple, keeping it fresh. I'm now going to go in with the beautiful fresh tomatoes. Look at that, look at the colour. So now I'm going to turn the heat up and just bring this to the boil. And what I'm going to do is put some water in here to roughly the same volume as you had the grated tomatoes. So in we go in with the water. And what you want to do is bring that to the boil. So I'm going to finely slice the parsley using the cross-chop method, so fingers flat at the end, and just keep going round until it's nice and fine. So here, we've got 200 grams of the Orzo, right? So you can see, if you look closely, it looks like rice, but it really isn't. It's got more angular sort of cuts on it. But if you can't find it, I want to give you a little hack, right? Because you'll get a very, very similar effect. Get a tea towel, get some spaghetti, and just steal a little bit, like that, okay? Roll up the pasta, like this, and very simply, take it and just run it off the side of a surface, like that, okay? And then what you get is your own homemade fake Orzo. Okay, so it's a nice little tip. Let me just mop that up. So look, not a bad little fake, right? But even though it's, you know, also it might feel posh, it's just flour and water, right? Now, as soon as this has come to the boil, let's let it rain also. Give it a little stir. I think it's important to give it a light seasoning now, so it cooks into the pasta, like that. So some salt. Go in with some pepper. So you can see this is boiling nicely, and I want to cook that on a medium, sort of gentle simmer, right? Not too fast, not too slow, with a lid on, stirring regularly for about 12 to 14 minutes until it's nice and tender. And then I'll show you how to season it, finish it with the halloumi, and also adjust the texture. Smell good. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So this has been cooking now for about 11 minutes. Look how the pasta's absorbed the sauce. Really beautiful. And there's so many things you could do with this. You could put tuna through it, you could put olives through it, more herbs through it, different cheeses through it. You could, use different vegetables, chopped up jarred peppers. So this is a beautiful principal recipe, but this one, simple and gorgeous, 5 ingredients. So the fun bit is now. Let's just try a little bit of Orzo. Beautiful. I'm going to turn the heat off. Remember, if it's a little bit wet now, that's perfect, because it's going to carry on sucking up the beautiful moisture. I'm going to go in with this lovely chopped parsley. And now, the real twist in the tale. Like when I tried this for the first time, it really blew my mind. So I've always bought halloumi, the family love it. I've fried it, I grilled it, but never in pastas, and it is amazing. So about 40 grams you use just to put through it, and then just a little bit on it, and it just melts in the most incredible way. So I guess when you grill it or fry it, it's a bit bouncy and a little bit squeaky and delicious. But when you grate it like this, it oozes into the pasta, but kind of holds its shape a little bit. So look at the colour, it's really, really nice. You might want to adjust with just a little bit of water, just to let it down. You want it to be loose and you want it to be elegant, really important, not dry and not claggy. Just stir that through, look at that ooze. If you've got some nice extra virgin olive oil, just kind of stir a little bit of that through it, just to give it that beautiful shine. So let's have a little go here. Look at that texture. Imagine doing that for your friends and family. If they love like a classic tomato pasta, this is like that, but fresher, more surprising. The halloumi has got that lovely salty tang that's so good. If you wanted to hit it with a little chili, of course you can. But look at that. Beautiful. Just finish it with a little olive oil like that, hot and steamy. I'm just going to finish it now with just a few bits of parsley, just to tell the story, what's going on. You can change up the herbs if you want. I'm going to go to the fine side of the grater and just do nice long strokes of halloumi. And then the only thing you've got to do is find a fork and tuck in. Look at that. Beautiful. It's so good, so simple. It's one of those recipes that you could do time and time again. I think there's a nice technique in there with box gratering those fresh tomatoes. So nice. 5 ingredients, simple, delicious, comfort food. And that is one of the recipes from my brand new cookbook. 5 ingredients, Mediterranean. Please have a look, just pick it up, flick through it and see what you think. I hope, I know, you're gonna love it. Take care. Hey guys, hope you're well. We're gonna make the most delicious mushroom pasta with garlic, spinach, mushrooms, a rich sauce. We've got a crunchy thyme and garlic breadcrumb topping. It's just joy, joy, joy. Let's get cooking. Put the pan on a medium-high heat and a pot of boiling water. First job, garlic breadcrumbs. Finely slice 2 cloves of garlic. This is my wife's favorite bit. So what she loves and what I love about this is the crunch of the breadcrumbs with the soft, delicate pasta. It's a really beautiful combo. We're gonna go in here with some olive oil. Go in with the garlic, get that sizzling. The next ingredient, thyme. Fresh thyme is joyful. A few nice little stalks. Just pull the lovely little leaves off the stalk. They normally pop and spit a little bit, but the flavor from thyme is amazing, especially with mushrooms. Listen to that. And then in with the breadcrumbs, and we can turn that temperature right down. Just toast off these breadcrumbs. And this will make the most amazing little sprinkle for any pasta, any ravioli, even soups. Gorgeous on salads. So once it's gorgeous and crispy, put it in our little bowl, and this people will fight over. Pan back on the heat. I've got 2 packs of mushrooms, but you really could use oysters, button mushrooms, anything you like. So 4 cloves of garlic and mushrooms, classic flavor. Back in the pan, we're gonna go in with some olive oil, in with the garlic, that will perfume the oil. Then I'll take the other half of that thyme and pick in the lovely leaves there. Nice generous pinch of black pepper as well. go in with the mushrooms. Now that looks like a lot of mushrooms, but if you give that about 10 minutes of cooking, stirring nice and regularly, that is going to half in size, it's going to intensify and double in flavour, and that's going to be amazing. So we'll let that cook out, then I'll show you what to do next. So if you look at the mushrooms now, the water's starting to cook away, and it will go now from boiling to frying. Can you hear it? And you can see it's dried up. It smells amazing. Right, let's have a little taste. Amazing. So normally at this stage, I put in a little cream or creme fraiche, and that's definitely very traditional, but I got told about a little tip that is just naughty, and it's basically a tin of mushroom soup. And it basically means you get double mushroom flavor. So put all of it in, nice little tin of quality mushroom soup, fill this tin up with a little bit of water, and then like half a tin, a whole tin, depending on how thick the soup is. Just put that in there and let that simmer away. You get this silky old school sauce. You've got extra seasoning in there. You're down on the saturated fats and up on the veg. So it's a nice little trick. Mix that up, let that simmer. The water here is now boiling. We'll just put a little salt in there. And we're going to go in with 300 grams of your chosen pasta. Look, you could use whatever you like. I'm going in with tagliatelle. Lid on until the water comes up to the boil again. The pasta sauce is already looking good. So we've got an ingredient to go in there, spinach. I'm using the frozen spinach because it's super convenient. You get that really nice kind of dense, dark spinach. Nutrition through the roof. I'm just going to put 2 little cubes like that in. That's about 100 grams. And that will just defrost and cook into it. Those pops of green. Amazing. What I like to do now, you don't have to do this, some people take pasta and put it in a colander, the water goes down the drain, and it's the water that helps the sauce be silky. What I like to do is use some little tongs and drag the pasta and some of that water along with it. Now, what's nice about that is we're just going to get the most incredible textures. And then a little bit of Parmesan. So you just need a little bit for seasoning, and having fresh Parmesan makes all the difference. Just toss it like this. Can you see how elegant this is? The smell is incredible. And that's the beauty of cooking, right? You can take the cheapest mushrooms and make them joyful. Oh, look at that, look at the way it comes out. Silky, that little hack with the tinned soup is naughty, but nice. With a little of those breadcrumbs on the top. Come on. A long stroke of Parmesan. And then let's portion up a little bit. I mean, look at that. How elegant is that? Come on, that's a dish right there. Look at that. Right, let's try some. Oh. My missus doesn't like mushrooms, but I put it in quite a lot of the cooking that she says she loves. So don't be a hater, be a lover, or just put it in and don't tell them. Oh, that is bonkers. Enjoy. This one is undeniable. This is my 15-minute tuna pasta. It's so good, so quick, you're gonna love it. So look, the recipes are celebrating loads of the good stuff, right? Beautiful cherry tomatoes, look at that. We've got the red peppers, we've got chili, we've got garlic, we're gonna use cucumber and basil. It's gonna be so fresh and so good. So first up, let's get the pasta in. So in a pan of boiling water, 300 grams of the seashells. What I love about them, of course, is their little cups. And you can fill them up with beautiful things. So this sauce is just gonna sit in there beautifully. So the pasta is cooking away. That'll take about 10, 12 minutes, and this sauce will be even quicker. So we've got here some nice cherry tomatoes. Look at these, on the vine, they're always really tasty. So I want 400 grams of tomatoes. So I'll just save these back, and then I'll just click these off the vine. What else goes into it? Cucumber. So I'm just gonna take half a cucumber, have a little peel. So cucumber goes in. Then I'm going to use half a clove of garlic. Then basil, a nice little bunch of basil. I want to do 2 things. I want to pick, first of all, the little pretty leaves for garnish for later, and then the big leaves can go down here. So big leaves, small leaves. Right, the big leaves go straight into here, like that. You can push it in. And then we've got a pepper here. Peppers or capsicums, they're absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to peel off that kind of chunky side and just tear the peppers into here, like that. If you want to use a chili, then like half a chili for a little bit of heat, delicious. And then one last bit of flavor, one little kiss of sunshine, sun-dried tomatoes, right? Now look, you can get these everywhere. search yourself out a little jar. You want 5 or 6 little sun-dried tomatoes there. And what I'm gonna do is just pop that in there. You're gonna get an amazing flavor from that. Really, really good. And then I'm gonna give it a swig of lovely vinegar. Red or white wine vinegar, or sherry if you've got it. Lid goes on, and then you just whiz it up. So easy. So a little bit noisy, but it's gonna be pretty tasty. Giving it a little waz till it's nice and smooth, gives you this texture like this. And then, actually not olive oil, let's use some of this sun-dried tomato oil. Just a little kiss like that. Beautiful. So look, that's all you have to do. The pasta is now done. It's quite good to undercook your pasta when you're making it for salads, right? Because you don't want really soft, fluffy pasta. You want it to sort of hold its shape. Back into the pan. And then if you come and have a look at this, whilst the pasta is nice and hot, right? That's the perfect time to flavour it. And this is just full of goodness. Absolute gorgeousness. So in we go with that amazing, uncooked, summery, gorgeous sauce. So all of that goes in, and then just stir it through. Now the nice thing about this is that the residual heat of the pasta has now heated the sauce up, right? So you can serve this hot now, beautiful for spring, summertime, or let it cool down and the flavour will get better and better, and serve it as a cold salad pasta. Delicious. So let me show you how to finish it. So get it into your Tupperware or a nice bowl like this. So just pour the pasta in like that. That pasta will absorb most of that sauce, I'm telling you. I've got some feta cheese, some tuna. So even though it's an Italian pasta, of course, the inspiration did come from that brilliant Spanish soup, gazpacho. So I've got a little feta, beautiful for colour, beautiful for seasoning, really fresh. I've got a nice little tin here of tuna. And again, we can take this tuna and we can just flake it over the top. Then what I want to do now is just dress this lovely pasta salad. This already tastes amazing, but I just want to sort of give it a flourish. So I've sliced little quarters of my tomatoes. I'll take a nice little chunk of feta cheese, which again is so fresh and salty and it looks beautiful. So I'll get that ready. I'll take the tuna and just kind of spoon over nice little chunks of it in and around the pasta like that. Then over the top with some cherry tomatoes, some basil, and we'll take that feta and sprinkle it from a height. Maybe a final little kiss of olive oil. Just brilliant. Right, let's have a taste. Let's get a bit of everything. A bit of basil. What I love about that is kind of an old-fashioned flavour. Tuna, tomatoes, pasta. Really, really nice little dish. Hi guys, I hope you're all really, really well. So I'm going to show you a beautiful side dish now. It's a fantastic slow roasted tomato salad with Orzo pasta. It's really fresh, it's really light. This is from my new cookbook, Together. And Together is about togetherness, something that we've all learnt about or not about in the last year, since lockdown. So this is all about meals to make new memories. Each chapter is a whole feast, a whole meal. And this dish here, here's the Orzo pasta there. This is a fantastic side dish from a chapter that I absolutely love called Elegant Simplicity. You can cook this as a menu, or you can take individual recipes as they are, because they're really nice recipes. Now, the great thing about the recipes is I've written them in a new style, right? And this style is I write them in a way so you can get ahead of the game, so when your guests arrive, you're not stressing. So, let's do this beautiful salad. Get yourself the ripest tomatoes you can get your hands on. Try and get them on the vine. So in with the vines and the tomatoes. So this is 1 kilo of tomatoes here. In here, the things that are gonna make it delicious are some seasoning, salt and pepper, like that. There's a secret ingredient, some beautiful harissa. And I'm gonna put a nice teaspoon of this in here. Now it's not hot, it's very, very gentle. We're going to go in with a nice little kiss of extra virgin olive oil, a little splash of red wine vinegar, and we're going to use 2 more things. Garlic, so just keep the skins on and just put a bulb in like that. In we go. And then last but not least, I've got some lovely spring onions. Just trim them off both ends, give them a wash, and these go in like that. Mix it all up, and this is like the perfect seasoning. Leave the vine on, right? First tip here, the vine will give you that kind of fragrance of the smell of tomatoes in the greenhouse. So with these tomatoes, they're going to go in the oven for 1 hour. We're going to slow roast them to really concentrate the flavors. So that'll go in the oven at 150 degrees Celsius, which is 300 Fahrenheit. All I've got to do now is cook some pasta. Now, this is Orzo. Let's have a little look at this. Orzo is a shape of pasta. There's 500 grams there, and I'm simply going to put that into some boiling salted water. Now, the packet says cook these for 12 minutes, so I'm going to cook it for 10 minutes, okay? I want it slightly al dente. Now, when that's 5 minutes in, what I'm going to do is get some frozen broad beans. Then I'll refresh them both in a colander under cold water, and I'll show you what to do next. So the pasta has been beautifully cooked. I've run it under cold water so it's not cooking anymore, and that'll hold beautifully. With the broad beans, look at the colour. It's such a beautiful bean. And then if you want to, only if you want to, just pinch the skin and squeeze the bean out like that. Do I like eating them like that? Absolutely. They're delicious. But if you can be bothered and if you want to, you can peel them. That bit's done. We've had an hour in the oven here. The room smells absolutely amazing. And look what you get after an hour. It really is something very special. You can see how the tomatoes have just sort of confied almost in themselves. So all I'm going to do now is shake off these little vines like that. We'll take out the spring onions and just put them on a board. And we'll also take out the garlic. So just shake these tomatoes off the stalk like that. I want to push this through a coarse sieve. Reason being is I want to lose the tomato skins, right? Your trusty sieve is very helpful. And we just simply put the tomatoes in there. Everything goes in. And then I'll use the spoon just to squash the tomatoes. The juice will flood out. We'll just keep pressing it until it's literally just pips and skin on this side of the coarse sieve. It's going to be phenomenal. Now back over here, we've got 2 things we want to think about. The garlic here, just squeeze it out of the skins. Fork it up. Then I'm just going to use a knife to slice up the spring onions, and then let's get that into the sauce. So stir in those beautiful roasted spring onions and the lovely creamy garlic. Then I'll go back in with the gorgeous broad beans and the Orzo, and then I'll turn the heat up. Mix it up. When it's cooled down a little bit, it's add some beautiful fresh herbs. Things like mint, things like basil, dill, fennel. And what I like to do is put most of the herbs in there for flavour, and then save back some for sprinkling on top later. So get those lovely fresh herbs in there. Really mix it up beautifully. I love it. The smell is amazing. It really is. A bit of seasoning needed. I'm going to give it a little kiss of nice cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. Serve on a platter, in bowls, whatever you like. Look at the colours. I'll take some of those herbs and just sprinkle them over the top. A little optional extra here, because this is just going to be a salad today. A tiny bit of feta cheese. There you go. My slow roasted tomato and Orzo salad. Let's have a try. It is so fragrant. So there you go, guys, my Orzo and tomato salad. I hope you love it as much as I do. Enjoy.